What's up guys, YvensB here. So if you're anything like me for the last month and a half or so, you've been kind of stuck at home or you can't be using your studio with clients because... But I do have a question for you. Do you own a home studio or maybe an actual studio like mine? If so, in this video, I will review 3 things that every studio photographer needs, and actually it's a good thing because they're right under $10, so everyone wins. So you might say, what? Painter's tape? Who uses painter tape as a photographer? We're photographers, we're not painters. But painter's tape has been a crucial tool in my tool belt in order to get things done when I'm in a pinch. So the painter's tape is actually a very useful tool even if you're not a painter. Painter's tape can actually work as a marker for your subject. So let's say you're running a very complicated light setup with multiple lights going around, and your subject has to be remaining in one spot and one spot only because everything has been pre-catered for that spot. Painter's tape can actually work as a marker. So basically you put it on the floor and your subject has to be there or else the shot won't work and he'll know it. Or if you're like me, shooting a YouTube video and your camera doesn't have autofocus, you can actually just put an X mark pre-focus and then basically stand there and you'll know that just you're positioned for your marker. So that's really helpful in order to basically pre-light and have something that is already arranged for actually your focus or your light setups. The second way that the painter's tape can actually work for you is, have you ever dealt with a roll of seamless that was a complete rebel? Getting a seamless background to stay on the floor whenever you're lighting it down can be a real pain. But with painter's tape, it actually becomes very simple. Painter's tape is actually a residue-less tape, so basically it's made for walls to basically because they're very fragile-ish. In order to prevent dents and etc. So you can use painter's tape to actually tape down your paper backdrops in order for them to remain in place without damaging them too much like any other tape would. So that makes it the perfect solution in order to tape something on the floor or maybe hold it together if you don't have any other accessories to do so. And the third way painter's tape can help you is if you need to tape something to stay together, well, just tape it and see if it holds. If it holds, you win. But if you do take a look inside of my own camera bag, you will always find a painter's tape because it saved my butt so many times on the shoot. I mean, for that cost, for under $10, you can get a lot of rolls at your dollar store or even online. I'll leave some link below if you want to find a decent one that you can buy off Amazon and order to your home. The next item that you saw, as you saw in the title, are working gloves. So these little piggies that you have here attached to your limbs are actually our bread and butter as a photographer. Technology advanced a lot, but there's a lot of things that you maybe don't realize that you do with your fingers. They help us send emails, type on the phone, make posts to Instagrams, say thumbs up because you gave a like to Facebook, etc, etc. So basically, in a nutshell, these little things can make us millions and millions of dollars. Yes. So with that logic in mind, offering them protection as you go along on a shoot or you start packing gear or undoing your studio or maybe setting up some lights is crucial to protect them from any damages that can occur. According to the National Security Council on the Work, cuts, lesions and bruises are amongst the top offenders when it comes to injuries. So protecting your fingers really is a crucial idea. And again, for $10, not getting this while you're actually building a set or you're putting stuff together is really not smart. So whenever I'm packing up gear or I'm setting up light stands or anything that basically requires a squeeze or a height or anything else, I always put on gloves because you never know. And if you work with video lights that are old school, like those old Fresnel, I'm not sure how they're pronounced. But if you work with these old school video lights, you'll need something to protect your hands against the heat. If you're shooting outdoors, you need something to protect against the elements. If you're in the studio and you're putting up a light and then some light fall and then it can squish your fingers, with the glove, at least you have some type of protection that can cover you and allow you to work longer. But if you want to know, here's a pair I usually use. They're called Firm Grips by a company called Natural Pull. They're pretty decent. They cost me $12. So again, that's in Canada. So in the US, it might be actually $10. And they've been pretty good. And it allowed me also to use these thumbs to actually swipe up and down on Instagram so I can waste my time. Pretty useful. And the third item that I will absolutely have to convince you to buy, and you can buy a whole lot of them for a very small price of $10, are actually clamps or clips. Clamps, in my opinion, are an absolute must when it comes to taking photos in the studio because they hold down everything. If you again have another roll of seamless paper or a canvas and you want to hold it in place, you just have to clamp it. If you want to hold a background together against something, you clamp it together. If you have a piece of CTO or CTB or gel, any gel that you have, and you don't want to use a high cost tape that is basically cinema grade and it will cost you $50 a roll, you can use a simple clamp on top of it, and it's as resistant as anything else. So again, these are really helpful, basically to also attach cords to a table. They're also helpful to attach mics. They can do a whole lot of things. And again, for the low cost, they can become very critical in your lighting setup. So let's say you forgot something, you can probably clip it. And as a special, because I like you very much, here's a bonus item that I think will also be useful, are something that no one talks about but everyone needs in their bag, are Sharpies. Let me get one for you. Sharpies, in my opinion, also an extremely practical tool in order to avoid forgetting something. Let's say you build a shot list that let's say you forgot your printer, but you do have the document on your phone. You can actually Sharpie it out on a piece of paper, stick it somewhere next to your camera bag or next to your monitor if ever you're tethering, and say, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, and I need to do that. If you want to mark your lights because you have A, B, C, and D, grab a piece of paper, Sharpie it, and stick A, B, and C somewhere. Sharpies are an essential tool to take notes, to mark things, to basically write down some stuff in a very large and bold manner, so you actually don't forget about it. In my opinion, I've used them very often, just again to track things, and because when you're on set, you're stressed, and having a note-taking device that you can actually pop out anywhere is actually super useful, without it having to be your phone, because your phone will distract you every single time. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to make a quick one because I know a lot of us will be moving back into the studio in a very short while after this pandemic will be done. I hope you guys are safe. I hope your family is safe also and everyone is healthy during this global lockdown. And I hope you can recover from this. Again, I will be continuing to post videos. I'll be continuing to shoot, and I hope it's the same for you. Again, I want to thank you for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. This has been YvensB, Montreal photographer, and I wish you good luck. Cheers.